Well, hello folks, and welcome to Iowa Speedway on this double-header weekend. Everything rained out yesterday, the tornado touched down, we got no running out on track, which means that everything has been condensed now into one day today, and we start with highline practice here at Iowa Speedway. I'm Will Buxton, alongside me James Hinchcliffe. No Townsend Bell, because if you think we had problems trying to get cars out on track yesterday, that is nothing compared to Townsend Bell trying to find an aircraft that actually works. 48 hours he's been in transit and still not touched down in Iowa. Hinch, great to be here.
Great to be back at Iowa. This is a track that drivers always love coming back to because we've historically had such good races here. We know that last year there was that repave in the bottom part of the racetrack. It sort of switched things up for everybody, but IndyCar's done a lot of work with the aero configuration on these cars. They've been here testing. They've tried different configurations to make sure that we get two good lanes working here at Iowa. That's the big key, Will, and that's what we're working on right here in this first session. This is highline practice. They've split the field up into two groups, and there's going to be two 15-minute sessions for them to go out, and they have to stay above that first line. So you can see that white dashed line to the driver's left there. You've got to stay above that for this whole session, run around, get comfortable up there, lay some rubber down up there, so that way when we get to racing later this afternoon, drivers are comfy up in lane 2.
We have a yellow out for an incident down at turn 4, I'm understanding.
Kyle Kirkwood.
Yeah, it is. Oh, and that right front is gone, I'm seeing from out of the window. Looked like it was gone anyway from this vantage point up here.
Right rear as well. You can see both the Firestones white-walled on the right side of that race car, so high off the floor.
As soon as I went low.
AMR safety team on the scene immediately. So a little bit too high.
I'm all good.
In the highline practice for Kyle Kirkwood in the Sukup sponsored car this weekend.
And you can see there's not a lot of damage to the floor area. This is where I'm kind of looking right here to see how hard he got into the wall. He's done the suspension, both front and rear. We saw the right rear wobbling, obviously.
Right rear, not sure about the floor. Front feels okay. I don't really see anything crazy. So probably rear right floor, rear right corner.
Yeah, him and I have the same thought. How's the floor? And I think he actually got away with it. Let's take a look at the onboard now. Here's down the back straight into 3. He's going low. Oh, big.
Oh, that right front's toast, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kyle, we just talked to your teammate, Marcus Ericsson. He said, like, it was driving like ice on ice out there. Do you feel the same, and what was the product of that incident?
Were you asking me if it was driving like ice out there?
A product of the incident.
Sorry, I could not really hear you with the cars going around. I don't really know what happened there. We were running fine up top, and I was like nearly flat on the top, and then I got into the wake of, I think it was Renus right in front of me. Here, I'll watch this. Sorry. Yeah, I went down low, which is the place that should have more grip, and it just did not. And I think maybe the track was just green down there. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but it just got loose, and it was like, see you later, down low. Just not much grip down there yet, I don't think so. Yeah, just mistake on my part. Sorry to the team. Sorry. It is a compact day, right? This is not something that you want to see happen. Just really caught me off guard there.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks.
It's funny, I was looking at the window just seeing who looked sporty right off the bat, and Newgarden has just been chewing up and spitting out cars left, right, and center. He's worked his way about a third of the way through the field already of the cars that are on track.
Dixon. Yeah, Joseph's loving it out there. I mean, you look at Josef Newgarden's history here, and it really is ridiculous. 1 pole position, that doesn't tell you the story. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fastest laps. 6 race victories. That's an incredible run here, going all the way back to 2016. That is contact.
Oh, wow.
Alexander Rossi.
It's a nerve-wracking place to have that happen. So that's Newgarden going around Rossi here into 1. Does he give him a hip check, or does it just... No, Ray just... Here, and here's part of, I think, what happens here. If you're in Rossi's position here on the outside, normally in a race situation, a driver's going to be turning in to lane 1 when you're making that pass. Joseph's trying to do the job here, which is stay in lane 2. So he's turning in a little bit later, not turning in quite as aggressively. And I think Rossi was just kind of more anticipating a traditional turn in here. Let's hear what Josef had to say about it.
interesting watching how much more open off the middle of 3 on exit of 4. Just really opening the exit up off 4. They're almost completely to the top of the wall off 4 and progressively working their way up higher and earlier.
That's very interesting insight.
I'm not sure exactly who he was talking about. He was referencing somebody kind of opening up mid-exits, but I'm not sure who he was referring to.
This is riding on board with willpower. Wow, almost into the wall. And the pit entry here is very peculiar, very specific. You have that kind of constant radius, and then it suddenly tightens. We are into practice now here at the Iowa Speedway. You can run the low line, you can run the high line, you can run wherever you want. But one driver who will not be running for a little moment at least is Kyle Kirkwood, having made contact, the only driver to make contact with the wall during that high line practice as we sit on board with Nolan Siegel, courtesy of NTT Data.
Yeah, I was texting with Brian Herta, strategist for the 27, just a moment ago to try to get a sense of how much damage there was on that 27 machine. Said, yeah, obviously both right side corners. We're working hard. Not sure they're going to be able to get him out in time for practice, which means he will go into qualifying having not run the proper fast lap here, which could have a huge effect on his weekend. But as we were just talking about earlier, this is not the most important track from a qualifying perspective if we can get that second lane working. And based on what we saw in that first session, I'm cautiously optimistic that all these changes IndyCar has done, the new package that they've brought, is going to give us a more exciting race. Just right on board with Ericsson. So down here off of turn 3, that's the pit commit line. And now you are just trying to hustle the thing. I mean, getting loose, you hear wheel spin, then you get on the brakes. He has a little bit of maybe rear lock. Just wasn't confident to keep the lock in it. And immediately you see the lights on the dash come on, yellow flag, slowing everybody down. Yeah, I'm not sure if that would cause a full course caution in the race. I don't think so, but I'm not sure.
One of those that desperately needs track time is rookie Jacob Abel, who was run here and finished second in Indy Next before, but right before this last caution, he was exiting. When he got up the pit speed limiter, said it just went flat, no power at all, so they limped back around to the pit lane, and the Honda, the HRC techs, are looking into the laptop to try to diagnose right now to see if it's a major issue or if it's something that can be sorted.
Graham Rahal's circulating out on the track, and James, it's not a circuit that RLL are expected to go well at. Where is the disconnect for them between their oval running and their phenomenal form on the road courses?
Yeah, it's a tough nut to crack here for these guys. You know, this is obviously a pretty unique place with how bumpy it is. We talked about that on the top of the show. The different surface changes make it very complicated, and they do make it a lot more damper sensitive than some other ovals. But let's call a spade a spade. Most short ovals, this team has struggled. So something fundamentally is hurting the balance of this race car, not giving the drivers the confidence to push the way they want, to move around the racetrack the way they want. So it's been that way for a few years, Will. It's not just like a this season thing.
Why is Taku seemingly the only driver that can really get something competitive out of this RLL car?
Well, again, it's only in Indy. We haven't seen him do that necessarily at a place like Iowa. But, you know, Indy's a different deal. You come in as a one-off. Your sole focus is just that place. And Takuma obviously is a master around the Speedway. But it would be great to see this team kind of have a test here or have, you know, a change this weekend that just sort of puts them on that right direction, that right setup path to get these cars a little bit more raceable. Because, you know, obviously in Graham, you've got a very experienced set of hands. But in Dev, you know, he's new to the team, only his third year in the sport. Foster, a rookie, you know, relatively new to this game, who's been, again, finding incredible pace on road tracks right now. But this is a totally different deal.
And
Pato O'Ward.
Spin for Pato.
That's off at turn 2. Still rolling, so remarkably, looks like he got away with it. Very... That's the perfect response. That is a beautifully Pato response.
I challenge anyone not to love Pato. That is... what a response. Phenomenal.
I mean, this is coming out of the pits.
Oh, boy.
So you're off PLC, coming up to speed here, hits a bump.
And you know what? We have seen that countless times in racing here.
Yeah, I mean, lucky that it stayed kind of spinning to the inside and didn't go up the racetrack. There was a car, I couldn't see who it was, coming around right there. But this is going to be a real risk tonight and on Sunday as well.
And you really have to get on it as you exit the pits here. But that is the risk at the Iowa Speedway.
All right, one coming around you here. Next one just is a 1 now. Jimmy Christian. That's that. 5, 3, 2, 1. Another one behind him, 2 back. And a hole here. Big hole. Got him back at P1 right now. Next one he sent back. Yeah, he also almost stored me. That's right.
Let's see. So this is coming off. Oh, wow.
There he is.
Very early. Got up there, brushed it. That did look pretty innocuous in terms of the amount of.
Oh, yeah, just gets up by the high V sign. That small brush.
Yeah. I think he'll get away with that one. I think he'll get away with that one.
He does have an innate ability, seemingly, to be able to pull off these spins or these brushes and come away on an oval with minimal damage, does old Rasmussen. Bucky, because you told me to, and it was a real thing.
It was worth it.
Nolan up high, just avoiding the wall.
That's great, though. That's kind of what you want to see. So this is the seven. Is the it's on board with Stingray Rob. See on board now from Nolan Siegel. He's running that second lane.
Wow,
a little bit of
really
push.
struggling with it.
Just shows you once you get that few inches too high, you're really just a bit of a passenger. Now look, I know you're going to watch this and say, oh, it doesn't look like the second lane's coming in. But I'm telling you, in practice, it's different. One of the things I said earlier was I'm going to look and see who's kind of voluntarily running up in the second lane. That's what Nolan was doing just there. Not a lot of guys have been doing that up to this point. And with the amount of laps that has been run, I mean, the average is, guys are running between 40, 50, 60 laps already run per car. If you're not running up there consistently as a group, those marbles are going to start to form, and it is going to start to get slick. Once we get to the race, there's going to be people up there from lap 1, and I don't think we're going to have that problem.
Running on board with Marcus Armstrong, 9th fastest as things stand for Meyer Shank. Nolan Siegel has just popped up to 6th, James, so running that, trying to find that track space and trying to run that quali sim for him really has paid dividends, jumps up to a 182.0 average.
And the question becomes, how many laps did it take him to get there? Because in qualifying, like I said, you've got that one very quick warm-up lap, and then you've got to be on the pace. As we ride on board here with Armstrong, I just want to show you guys a little bit about what I was talking about, how these cars are set up to turn left. When he comes onto the back straight, look at this angle of the steering wheel. I mean, it's fairly aggressive. I mean, I almost don't have time to illustrate it because that straight's so short. But you have the car set up to be naturally turning left if you let go of the wheel. So when you get onto that actual straight bit of racetrack, you're actually physically having to fight the steering wheel and turn it right. And drivers will they'll offset the steering wheel from straight to be a little bit what we call right hand down. So that way in the corner, you're not having as much perceived lock. Your hands are in a more comfortable place. And you look in front of Armstrong right now, he's got a whole pack of cars that are trying to race. High up the racetrack. Is that Ferrucci?
That was Ferrucci. And a lot of that caused with Jacob Abel circulating pretty slowly up ahead, everyone getting bunched and passing him left and right. This then, the best 10-lap average, and it's Alexander Rossi at the top of that from Santino Ferrucci. Then look at that, Scott McLaughlin and Will Power and Josef Newgarden, all three Menskys in the top 6 on their best 10 average.
Honorable mention to Kiffin Simpson as well. He's been on a decent run coming off of what I think probably was his best weekend in a lot of ways at Mid-Ohio from a pace perspective. Didn't get the finish he wanted, but again, our guy Connor Daly, he's up in there top 10 once again.